I'm Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr., Democratic candidate to the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. I was fortunate to pass 3 pieces of legislation to benefit my fellow veterans and current members of the Virgin Islands National Guard. Amendment 33-230. I'm Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr., Democratic candidate to the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. I was fortunate to pass 3 pieces of legislation to benefit my fellow veterans and current members of the Virgin Islands National Guard. Amendment 33-230 prohibits the transfer, sale, lease, or gift of a deceased veteran's taxi medallion to a non-veteran, ensuring that only another veteran can receive the taxi medallion. Also, Amendment 33-456 to further strengthen the language regarding military benefits under Act 8261. Lastly, Act 8261, which protects members of the Virgin Islands National Guard from legal or civil action while on territorial active military service when under a state of emergency, such as Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and now COVID-19. I'm Stedmann Hodge Jr., number 3 on the general election ballot, and I need your vote to continue to restore confidence, pride, and hope for all Virgin Islanders.
Paid for by the committee to elect Stedmann Hodge Jr. to executive.
I'm Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr., Democratic candidate to the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. I was fortunate to pass 3 pieces of legislation to benefit my fellow veterans and current members of the Virgin Islands National Guard. Amendment 33-230 prohibits the transfer, sale, lease, or gift of a deceased veteran's taxi medallion to a non-veteran, ensuring that only another veteran can receive the taxi medallion. Also, Amendment 33-456 to further strengthen the language regarding military benefits under Act 8261. Lastly, Act 8261, which protects members of the Virgin Islands National Guard from legal or civil action while on territorial active military service when under a state of emergency, such as Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and now COVID-19. I'm Stedmann Hodge Jr., number 3 on the general election ballot, and I need your vote to continue to restore confidence, pride, and hope for all Virgin Islanders.
Paid for by the committee to elect Stedmann Hodge Jr. to executive.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the hottest talk show on the net. Your boy Russ Sills right here on the JMO talk show each and every Friday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight is all about politics time again in the United States Virgin Islands. Tonight, our virtual guest is the Honorable Virgin Islands Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr. This is his second time on the JMO talk show. So we're going to be talking to Stedmann about his up and coming election on November 3rd in the Virgin Islands. He's asking for his re-election. He's asking the community to go out there and vote for him again. So we're going to talk to him about his platform and some of the stuff that he have done in the 33rd legislature. All right. But before we get started, I just want to let y'all know on Sunday in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Island, we have the Reclaim Our Village March. It's a march against violence sponsored by the Aaron Nichols Hamilton Ashby Foundation. All right. It's going to be going down in 2 locations. All right. So if you are down in the west or if you're in the countryside, there's no excuse. They're going to be starting from on the west side, which is Crown Bay Marina down by the dock. And they're going to march from Crown Bay Marina all the way to Emancipation Garden. All right. So if you're in the countryside, they're going to start off at Tutu Park Mall, and then they're going to march from Tutu Park Mall all the way down to Emancipation Garden. All right. So for more information, you can contact Andrea Hamilton. Andrea Hamilton, she's the founder of the Aaron Nicholas Hamilton Ashby Foundation. The son was killed on July 9th. It was a senseless killing. He was only 14 years old. So she's giving back to the community. They started a foundation, and they're going to start off the foundation with a march reclaiming the village on Sunday, October 11th. And it all goes down at 7 a.m. So make sure you're all at the Crown Bay Marina at 7 a.m. And make sure you're at the Tutu Park Mall this Sunday again at 7 a.m. All right, so all roads going to lead to Emancipation Garden. Also, if you like to get involved and purchase a T-shirt, go ahead and contact Andrea Hamilton. She have T-shirts on sale for the march on Sunday. Please, I'm asking my Virgin Islanders to go out and do your part. It's not about, oh, we're marching again. We're gonna march, we're gonna march, we're gonna march until the people in the community start, doing their part and helping the VIPD, helping the community solve some of these unsolved senseless killing. All right, so it doesn't matter if we're gonna be marching from now until 2025. You know what I'm saying? We have to give enough respect to our ancestors, Martin Luther King Jr. and all the forefathers that came before us and helped us the way where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? It would have never been a Barack Obama as the president of the United States. It probably would never be the Stedmann Hodge Jr. as a senator in the Virgin Islands if it wasn't for our forefathers, Martin Luther King and everybody as Coretta Scott King. All right, so make sure, please. I'm just asking y'all, just do your part, man. You know what I'm saying? 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Crown Bay Marina, Tutu Park Mall. Just show up. That's all you got to do. Show up. If you don't want to show up, you can always donate, probably a case of water, a case of towels or something for people to, to keep cool or whatever. Something. You know what I'm saying? Or even contact the co-founder, Andrea Hamilton, and ask, what do you need? You know what I'm saying? Let's do your part, Virgin Island people, all right? Cool. All right, so up next, we have Mr. Virgin Island Senator, the Honorable Stedmann Hodge Jr. Again, this is the second time on the JMO Talk Show. Good evening, Stedmann, how you doing? Hold on. I gotta unmute you. I gotta unmute.
Got it.
Hey, good evening, Stedmann, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me again.
No problem, man. Hey, it's an honor to have you on the show again. Stedmann, thank you again for doing what you're doing in the Virgin Islands. I know it's 15 of y'all, and I know it's going to be a hard task, getting stuff done with your fellow colleagues. But, again, thank you for all you do in the Virgin Islands. You know what I'm saying? So let's get started, man. So what you been up to, man? Are you ready? Are you anxious? You're nervous for November 3rd? How do you feel?
Now, well, I should say that, I've ran enough times before, so I know what it is to lose. I know what it feels like to win. And just having the opportunity to be elected as a member of the 33rd legislature and to pass meaningful legislation, that's quite an achievement.
Yes.
And I think sometimes the shortfall is that because people know us, or it's you're getting the popular vote, they sometimes don't realize the type of legislation that we're actually passing. So it's my opinion we should be measured or judged or elected based on the work that we have done, our attendance record coming to the legislature, and that's our resume in a nutshell.
That's what's up. So the Democrats, they hold the majority of I should say the committee, the Democratic committee. Y'all had what, 12 or 13 Democrats in the senatorial? 13? 13 out of 15. So tell us a little bit about that. How was it working with your colleague? Was it difficult? Was it a smooth sailing? At least kind of give the people an idea what to look for come November 3rd, as far as voting Democrat again, or you have the right to choose. I mean, everyone have the right to choose what they want to choose, but how is it working with 13 Democrats out of 15 in the legislature?
At the end of the day, it's a lot of strong personalities, classic personalities. Everyone is going to interpret things differently, but in the end, when it comes to crafting legislation or measures, and let's say if we caucus as a body, and when we're discussing a measure, if another one of my colleagues says, hey, Senator Hodge, this maybe doesn't make any sense, you need to amend or change this. It's also about being an active listener and being able to take the constructive criticism. It's not criticism, it's constructive criticism, so that we all can get it just right. So But outside of that, we pretty much are in our own lane. We pretty much have our own agenda, and that agenda is to create policies or what's in that we are in favor for. Like my background is human resources, labor relations. At the same time, I have a son with a disability, so I'm always looking at what's happening with health and human services. So if those two are my strength, now you have educators within the legislature. So you're going to see them bringing measures dealing with education. You know, officers who are now senators as well. So all of us have our own strengths and also weaknesses because we don't know it all, but we are learning and we're still growing, and we have our staff to support us going along the way.
Understood. So tell us about the pandemic, the coronavirus, COVID-19. How did that affect the legislature, the 33rd legislature as well? I know it started earlier this year, but it's still ongoing. But how did it affect you all as far as the governing body?
Well, during summertime, we were having budget hearings. So we had a shutdown for like 3 weeks, and it impacted the hearings and the movement. So right now, I'm quite sure the finance chair is going to, for the finance committee, he's going to determine all the other bills that were maybe even revenue generating, dealing with finance. Those he has to choose now what's going to come out before we go into Sendai, okay, which is in November. So that is what it has created. It's also prevented other committees from moving forward in having a smoother process. So right now we're going to have education. They had a committee meeting approximately 2 weeks ago. Now they're going to be meeting again. Same thing with economic development. So we're going to have this movement. Today, I'm a member of Homeland Security, and we have another meeting coming up on the 13th. So it's going to be constant movement.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. So would you say that the pandemic really affected anything that y'all had plans for this incoming this year 2020, or it would just work as usual in the legislature?
Yeah, well, where we've been impacted overall is with the government's budget period. So if some folks, some individuals will say, oh, we are dependent on tourism. Others would say we're not dependent on tourism. But ultimately, without the visitors coming here, we have stores, especially the small business owners, who are closing their doors and shutting down. Because at the same time, for that particular industry, and whether it's a jewelry store, whether it's a small restaurant, a printer who's generating T-shirts and doing other leaflets and pamphlets, even if they might have had a contract with the government or with other small businesses. So everything has pretty much slowed down 50% in terms of overall growth and revenues. So when we talk about the stimulus is going to help. And then we're going to run into a lot of challenges when it comes to the Department of Labor and unemployment benefits. Because as long as we have individuals who are unemployed, on a local level, the Department of Labor has to constantly borrow from the federal government to get a loan so we can make these payments. So we actually going to be creating some debt along the way.
Wow. So everything stemmed from the general election here in the United States. Who's going to be the next the president of the United States that could kind of see how things going to look down the line, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Not trying to talk about too much about the general election. It's all about the Virgin Island election here tonight. All right, so let's get down to business. I got some questions here I would like to ask you. First question for tonight is what is your top priority as a legislature and why?
Some of my top priorities are health and human services. We have a major issue when it comes to healthcare in the territory. I'm fortunate that even for someone who's disabled, even for them to get into the workforce. So I'm fortunate to actually have legislation that's right now within the Committee of Finance, and I'm hoping we have this bill. We're actually offering an exemption to small business owners that hire persons with disabilities. But also the second one is revenue generation. we have to focus on generating new revenues, which ultimately means creating industry as well. If it's a convention center, we know with visitors coming in, that's a revenue generator. And more, and they're not just that, they're also employing, putting more individuals to work, also paying more gross receipts to the government. So these are the things that we have to look at, and I do have measures to address that as well. And then outside of that, we can go to education. You know, education is key, especially when it comes to early childhood programs, which is from K1 all the way up to K5, ensuring that students can actually read during that period of time. The Virgin Islands Department of Education is finally getting on track with the early childhood program. They have what's called a granny program on St. Croix with three of the preschools that they have over there. And they're going to be tracking all the statistical information, how many, what's the cost per student. Example, for early childhood programs in New York, it's $14,000 a student. In Carolina, it's $6,000 a student. So based on the investment that they're making per student, you're going to see that overall development by the time they get to K5 or K6. Additionally, I have legislation for a master teacher program. So that way, based on the efforts or the other things that a teacher would do, volunteering with nonprofit organizations, how long they've been actually in the classroom, their overall performance and pass rate of students, they would become a master teacher. So even if you have a retired teacher, they can work per diem, but they're working specifically with students from K1 to K5, which will really be advantageous and to assist turning things around.
My personal belief about this whole pandemic is a gift and a curse, meaning that it's unfortunate that people had to lose their lives for a pandemic. Disease, viruses, we cannot control. However, we could put we could stop the bleeding, and hopefully that, you know, by us stopping the bleeding, we could kind of fix things as we go.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I say the gift and the curse, this COVID-19 is that a lot of times that we take things for granted in life. For example, the Virgin Islands. We continue to work as we're back in the early 2000s, or probably we're still doing things back in the 90s. We're in 2020, right? This pandemic forced our hand to now start doing things now and for the future, if you understand what I'm saying. For example, what we're doing right here, we're having a discussion, we're having our talk show, my talk show, and having you as my guest, virtual, where I'm seeing you, you seeing me, and everybody around the world is listening to us as we speak, right? This is technology. This is how the technology going to be from today moving forward. With that being said, is that it took a pandemic to force our hand in the Virgin Islands to get things up in speed. Why is it that today, as we speak, in the Virgin Islands, we still having problems with internet service, wireless service? One side of the island have signal, the other side of the island don't have signal. We right now, you talk about education. The kids them right now are doing virtual learning education at home, meaning you have a laptop, a desktop, and you log into Zoom or Microsoft Teams, and that's how you're getting your learning, your education. But today, as we speak, we're still not up to par with the future. What's going on with the future as far as virtual learning, signal. You understand what I'm saying? So my question to you, Stedmann, is what is it going to take? What do we need? What do we need to do to curb this problem or fix this problem now? Now that we're going into the 34th legislature, I think that these are things that needs to be addressed instead of we thinking about outside the box, these are things what we need to think about right now. Future, virtual, you know what I'm saying, virtual education, virtual economics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you understand what I'm saying, what do we need to do? Coming from a senator, what do you think that needs to be done in that problem?
All right, it's an internal structure and organizational issue. And what I'm getting to is this: there is no team environment within, and this is, I'm gonna say worldwide, and not just for the VA government. So when we talk about team, you're talking about listening to your lower level employees, your middle managers, okay, when they have suggestions and wanting to do something. When you're working on when they want to work on a project, leadership is working on the project and they're not involving, in terms of succession planning, they're not involving the your lower level employees, okay, in any capacity. So now when you have a change in administration or a leader resigns, guess what? All that knowledge, information is gone and the project stops. So we always back to square one. But if we communicate this, they're not listening to us. So they're still not active listeners. And yes, I pointed out it. You know, so you have to be able to listen to the information and listen objectively. And many of them, they don't. And the other piece I'm going to add is this. Not every leader knows how to manage, because it's about managing people or getting the job done to others, you know? So I could have that good skill. But when you speak to what's happening now with us, Zoom, everything is virtual. These are the things that should have happened in the past. And even though they may have been a topic of conversation, we never took the time to want to make it happen. And that's even not just on the educational side, but also for businesses. So now this is actually convenient for businesses where individuals are working from home because of safety. So we end up getting force feed, you know. So here we are. So but when you hear like Saints Cathedral, Montessori School, all those schools were already doing virtual. Right. So nothing new for them to have to deal with. They're just walking right into it.
And those are private school. Those are private school. If anyone didn't know what All Saints and St. Peter and Paul and Montessori, those are private school. Again, but that's what I'm saying. We need to address these things on a public level. You understand what I'm saying? Right now, we have kids right now that's supposed to be learning in the Virgin Islands, still don't have a laptop. Still don't have a laptop to further their education. Not pointing the finger at anybody, not pointing the finger at you, not pointing the finger at education personnel. I'm just saying that these are stuff that we need to, I think that the Virgin Islands need to be more proactive than reactive. You know what I'm saying? We need to be more proactive. Yeah. So my next question to you is, how would you make the government transparent?
I mean, in order to make the government transparent, even though right now the Virgin Islands government actually has a website, okay, where you can go through and you can see everything that's from all the different agencies, their expenditures, the cash flows, how it's going. I think what we're missing is that if you have an individual, a citizen, who wants to request some information, you need a separate site where that information that's being requested can actually be posted, okay? And we know who's also making the request. And that's with transparency. And it's also done electronically. So that way, it's not the normal pattern or system whereby someone has to write a formal letter, they have to wait, and then like the Daily News or the UG1 or so we have the Sunshine app. So we have to be transparent with everything. Even if it was going to be an app that you're going to use on the phone, you know, and I think you have a system called they could dial like a 311 number and easily access information or send a text message to the extent that when we have, okay, besides just having a separate app for tsunami warning, or there's a major power outage, or like today, actually there was a major accident, so there's no broadband or wireless capabilities in all of the country. Okay, everything is severed. So we should have one site where all of that is accessible. And believe it or not, there are grants to provide the free monies to get this going. And
that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why the powers of be are not tapping into these grants or these free money to help curb the situation that we have home. But anyway, that's for another show. 3 things I want to talk about tonight that is I guess everybody is actually worried, and those are public safety, the GRS. Okay, everybody know that the GRS, we hearing that if things are not getting done within the next 5 years, the GRS, which is the government
employees retirement system,
right? It will basically crash, and what I'm saying crash meaning that retirees will not get the money, and people who are put in money into the retirement system might not even get it by the time they decide to retire. So that's a major problem, that crime, public safety, and of course, the big talk last week was the salary. The salary, I want to talk about that, the whole salary situation. I'm here in the United States, in Atlanta. I was trying to follow it, but I'm reading, but I'm still not understanding. I'm hearing people's point of view, and I kind of got an understanding. But when you're reading it from, the daily news and so forth, it's like I'm not understanding what they're saying. But again, you're understanding people's point of view. So here's what. I'm coming to the source. The Senator, Stedmann Hodge.
yeah.
I also saw your picture in the newspaper, and I say, wait, steady. I agree with this raise. I need to talk to him as soon as he come on the show. So let's cut the chase and let's get to it. What really happened? What transpired? And what actually happened? And what it is now moving forward with this increased salary of the Virgin Island senators?
Yeah, I want to crack a joke first, you know. I remember one time I called you just to hail you up, and you say, "What are you doing on me?" but I love your passion, though, you know. But you asked me 3 questions, but I'm gonna deal with the salary part first.
Okay.
No, misinformation and not getting the correct information creates chaos. Yes. That is chaos.
I agree.
And we have a community, everyone pretty much thrives off of hearsay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're sitting in a bar, you're sitting in a barber shop, who ain't got the whole information, but they run with it, you know? So what happened is Senator Javon James had legislation, which is an amendment from July of last year, okay, to separate the lowest paid, the salary from the senators from the lowest paid commissioner, which is excellent. And I did have dialogue with him in reference to it. And we had spoken to about him maybe even doing some other amendments, but that never did happen. So Senator Oakland Benter, we have what's called, you can be preempted if another senator already has the same or similar legislation. So Senator Oakland Benter had legislation, it came up, I think, in either June or July of this year. And coincidentally, it was, I don't know how it looked. I don't know how it happened. Coincidentally, the budget hearing for the Sports Park and Recreation Commissioner came before the legislature for the budget hearing. And it was in their budget, it was requesting to increase his salary from 85,000 to the 100,000. So with all of that, Senator Bentard went on the radio. Then Senator James did the same thing as well. But when the budget was actually completed and marked up, there were no increases across the board at all, not even for the commissioner. But the wheels had already started to roll, okay? And this is out there in the media. So after that, so pretty much after the budget hearings were completed, Senator James, during the last day of the session, brought his amendment. We have pretty much covered all amendments throughout. If anyone has amendments to bring forward, we'll usually caucus in the back. So when you see a session and you see us out of the session for a minute, which sometimes could be an hour, is because we will be back there discussing a number of different things, including bills and legislation, before we move forward. So we did a quick caucus, and then he said he wanted to, he had an amendment. But in reviewing it, we all had a discussion, it needed to be comprehensive. So what we did now is crafted legislation that not only separated the lowest salary, our salary from the lowest paid commissioner, but we also went ahead and made amendments to the commission. The commission was already established in 2015, okay, by that legislature. I think it was the 31st, I think it was the 30th or the 31st legislature. So now we actually putting members to work so that going down the road, they will be the ones to set a senator's salary and not us. But some of the other concerns that we had was, if we separate it and we're looking at Act 6905, could it reduce our salary to 65,000? We don't know. So we had to come up with something that was much more comprehensive, and in the end, everyone supported it. So right now, I can literally say that through the legislature, the 33rd, all the members of the 33rd legislature, there is no raises, period. And that's even from the beginning, when they first had the amendments, until now, even to when the finance chair decided that with the budget markups, no increases for any commissioner, especially while we have employees who work at WAPA that can get raises in 10 years, and the members of collective bargaining units, and you have nurses that can't get increases, and I could keep going on and on and on. It would have been a slap in the face.
So let me ask you a question. So what I was told, that this salary increase was going to be for the 34th legislature. So you just said that there's no salary increase for the 33rd. What about the 34th? So for example, if you become re-elected on November 3rd and move on to the 34th legislature, are they saying that what the finance chair is saying, that the 34th legislature as well is not going to get an increase, or that's when the increase starts?
Yeah, and very good question. And the reason why I say a very good question is so that whoever is viewing or listening tonight will understand the government's budget cycle. So the government budget cycle starts October 1st and then goes all the way around and ends September 30th. So that means the commissioner for Sports Park and Rec, if he gets an increase now, that's when, if he had to get an increase, let's say from October 1st or November 1st, he gets an increase. I mean, it's automatic. We would have get an increase come in January, but that is not going to happen because we've separated it as well.
So is this in the newspaper? If this is a confirm what you're saying, coming from the chair, the finance chair? Because like I said, the last thing I heard was what you said. However, is it confirmed where the people, remember now, November 3rd, people are paying attention, and some people might be in the feelings going to the polls and say, you know what, I'm gonna just bullet vote and I'm out of here. Yeah. Instead of picking 7, I'm gonna just pick 1 and I'm out. So this needs to be addressed to the community, what you just said. It makes a lot of sense, but it needs to be addressed, if you understand what I'm saying. Yes.
So right now you've had a number of our colleagues that has been on the radio to clarify everything.
Okay.
And there was the last article in the Daily News pretty much said it. You know, we are separated from the lowest, the salary of the lowest paid commissioner. So, and the commission is who would have to increase our salary, and we're not going to do it. I'm telling you straight that we ain't going to do it. But now, I'll put this out there. Now, if the governor decides that he wants to go ahead and raise the commissioner's salary, he's free to do that. But the timing still wouldn't be right. It'd be bad.
I think it was bad timing for the governor to send down that bill to increase any salary right about now. Not saying that the commissioner of sports, park and rec is not doing a great job. He's doing an awesome job. He's doing a great job.
But
just the timing. I just think the timing wasn't right.
Yeah.
And he might have a reason why. Well, let me say this. He didn't. Well, to clarify, he didn't send a bill. It was a budget request by for that specific department. Okay.
You know? So at the end of the day, the agency, the department is who determines what their budget is going to, they're going to make the request for what they want their budget to look like. But at the same time, the legislature, the first branch of government, controls the purse strings. So we're going to make the necessary allotments.
Well, this is going to be a question or a topic of discussion
for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time, and everybody going to be paying attention. Trust me, because the minute a back deal happen where the salary has been increased and it get to the streets or get to the newspaper, we're going to be talking about this again. But like I said, Stedmann, I appreciate you clarifying that situation, because I was very livid. And I was like, come on, man, like not now, not when we go through a pandemic, you know what I'm saying? And people losing a job and people trying to get a stimulus money, not now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to save a penny, you know what I'm saying, right about now, you know? All right, let's go take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna get Stedmann get a little cup of water because he's flowing. He's sounding nice. As you can see, the back, behind his chair is a stack of folders. So I can only imagine what's in those folders. A lot of work. So we're gonna take a quick break. Again, you're listening to the Virgin Islands Senator, the Honorable Stedmann Hodge Jr. He's the senator from the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas District, in the 33rd legislature, and he's asking for his re-election bid on November 3rd, so he could move on to the 34th legislature. All right. So we're gonna take a quick break.
I'm Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr., Democratic candidate to the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. Let's talk about Bill Request 19-0916, the Intellectual Property Act of the Virgin Islands. We are all wearing masks because of COVID-19. One of the masks has a VI flag on it, or the VI eagle. Was the VI mask made outside of the Virgin Islands, let's say China? Hopefully, the VI mask was manufactured by an authorized agent of the Virgin Islands government, and we got at least 5 cents. The Intellectual Property Act of the Virgin Islands will protect our arts, music, culture, and everything native to the Virgin Islands, thus creating a new revenue source for any product produced by an authorized agent on behalf of the Virgin Islands government. Yes, a new source of revenues. Let's collect on that VI mask. I'm Stedmann Hodge Jr., number 3 on the general election ballot, and I need your vote to continue to restore confidence, pride, and hope for all Virgin Islanders.
Get ready for Stedmann. Paid for by the committee to elect Stedmann Hodge Jr. to the Senate.
Stedmann, I like that jingle.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the point. Ain't got no walk up beat in the background. It's to the point. You talk really nice. Did you do the toasters? Did you do the toasters when you was in college?
No, never did. And actually, believe it or not, I wish I did. You know why? Whenever I speak, unless I take my time, I always say
well, listen, I've been told from numerous of people, you know, Russ, try to do the toasters, and I said that was one of my bucket lists as well, to get into the toasters, because I've met a lot of people that did the toasters and they came up well as far as public speaking and so forth. Yes. So that's something that I wanted to do just to better myself with my show as well. Let's talk about that the mass. Interested. I said I told you, I said we have to address that. It's very interested Let's talk about that. It's a good
The
option
intellectual
of
property
revenue.
act. Yeah.
But again, here's what people listening to this say and say, lad, they want to take everything from me now. I'm making me mask them now. They want to get 5 cents, this and that. But I understand what you said though. If we're gonna have the VI Eagle or anything that portray the Virgin Islands should be compensated in a whole if you're going to be selling, because understood, you can't go right now. If I doing my show right now, Stedmann, and I have on an NFL apparel and I post it, a Falcons jersey, and I post the show on my YouTube channel, which I would like you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can check out all my shows from July 2020. But they will tell you that, you know, they have a copyright infringement. In other words, that something on my show that, you know what I'm saying, YouTube might say, hey, we might get sued, or Nike or the NFL might come after them to get compensated because we're wearing their apparel, even though they don't control what the people them that have an account with YouTube. However, you are using our apparel, you know what I'm saying, they might look at it as you know, people making money. We need to get compensated. So tell us a little bit about that the mass amendment. I mean, it's very interesting, and I think that, you know, you're not asking for too much, but you have all right to put a bill into place about VI mass.
Yeah, so it's called the Intellectual Property Act of the Virgin Islands. So it's going to protect what's called tangible and intangible property. So whether it's music, so if you have a performance, let's say Michelle Montano is performing in the Carnival Village or maybe Rico Center, and it's being streamed out. The fee and it's being streamed to Trinidad and all over the country. So they're following the performance. So that's already negotiated with the promoter. So now a good example besides the mask, let's look at the cruise ships. So if you're going to cruise ship, they have a shot glass with a VI Nice on it, T-shirts with VI Nice, mugs with VI Nice, and we collect nothing. You know, so yeah, so we're able to protect that, protect our arts and crafts that we have here. When you look at Macy's Day Parade, okay, they have a trademark on Macy's Day Parade. So does every troupe or float that participates in that parade is protected. Even if they were selling, I wish I had a puppet or a stuffed toy or stuffed doll, all those things are protected. You know, so it's very far-reaching, and it's an excellent revenue generator. If we had to throw out a number in terms of, let's say, 2 million, let's say 2 million VI type products are sold annually, and the average price is on a low end $10 for that product. That's brother.
You're asking for too much, but I understand. I mean, but what with by you collecting that 5 cents, is 5 cents or 5%?
I said 5 cents.
Okay.
5 cents.
Where is that 5 cents going to? To the general fund, to education fund? Or where is that 5 cent generating, and where is it going to in the government?
Yes. Right now, how the legislation is written, 75% is going to the retirement system, the GRS. Yeah. Okay. But even though that small amount can go there, it's still not sufficient enough to solve the retirement system that we have. Yeah, we have to get around $2 or $3 billion, where there's going to be an investment loan, floating on pension bonds. That would really allow us to create a system. And what I'm hoping for is that we can one day have a system similar to that of the federal government. So you can have, and the government will pay 100% of our initial pension, and then we have the supplemental pension, which could be like a 401k plan, a 459 plan, where a percentage actually comes out. You know, so that gives you 2 pensions, and then we're able to provide counseling, money management, investment. You know, because as the population, I try to look at things from a different perspective. As the population starts to grow and we're not creating jobs, we need, especially within government, for all government employees to be able to retire in 20 years. Versus what we have now, we have individuals working as long as 30 years, some doing 40. Okay, so that means what your daughter, son, your grandchildren, them going to do if they want to come back home and get a job. So we have to keep it moving, and we have to get assistance that's really solvent. The last piece I want to add is, it's my position that the government needs to, and I have a team that's working on it, come up with our own proposal to go to investors and financial institutions that actually manage, not just finance, but also manage pension plans.
I want to stick to that the topic, the GERS. A question that I had for you tonight: what would you propose to address the collapse of the GERS in light of the $3 billion plus shortfall and the projected exhaustion of all the funds between 2020 and 2021?
We have to go back and look at the 600 million in pension bonds that we had an opportunity to float over 10 years ago. If we had done that, the value of those bonds right now would be around 1.2 billion. And why I say that, in an article that was dated September 2nd, they stated that if this is an investment company who really tracks the market. If this one entity had went after pension, you took the 200 million and went after pension bonds, their pension bonds would have had a value of 600 million to date. So we would have been in a much better place rather than where we're at right now. And there's no more time for passive government. We have to be much more assertive, you know, and get the right stakeholders to the table and make the decisions. As a bottom line.
Yeah. I just can't believe, you know, in the early 2000s, a good friend of the family was recruiting me to come back home and get a job in the Virgin Islands, right? I was kind of hesitant because it's like, I don't know, something. I'm a person like they say I have to sleep on things. I don't want to be like the proposal. It sounded good. It was like, man, what I got to lose. But I'm a person, I have to sleep on things, and if my instinct don't feel right, I won't do it. Not saying that maybe this was what 2004. I probably might have had what 15 years in the Virgin Islands government right about now. Maybe I could have do 5 more and then say, you know what, I'm out, I'm done. However, look at what back then the proposal or when they came to me was the GRS is the best retirement system in the world. That was addressed to me. The best in the world. They were like, they were asking me, how much money you make? How much money you have saved? How much this, how much that? And I was like, basically, like I said, the proposal, come back home, I guarantee you a job, blah, 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 blah. You could save this and that money in 20 years, so you have this amount saved, blah, 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 blah. Right? But I would never forget, the GERS is the best retirement system in the world. I think that's what made me now say, you know, like in the world, you're talking in the world, you know what I'm saying? And they was very serious about that statement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that that statement make me say, nah, I'm gonna take a chance, I'm gonna stay up here, whatever, whatever. But it did, to this day, I still play it back. I still play it back. I still play it back. And to see 2020, where the GERS was supposedly supposed to be the best retirement system in the world. Look at where the GERS at right now. It's appalling. It's very disappointed. And to me, it's like every administration that comes in, I don't know if they don't address it. They do address it, but I think personally, just like how President Barack Obama, his first 4 years was fixing the economy. Yes, it was tough. He made some decision that ruffled a lot of feathers, pissed people off. People probably didn't catch themselves for the first 4 years in Obama, but they understand why he had to make these things, because it was screwed up. It was jacked up. And what I'm trying to say is, Stedmann, is no administration. What I'm talking about, no administration, I'm talking about the governor, lieutenant governor. That's the administration I'm talking about. Nobody is not saying, you know what, I know we have a lot of stuff to address. That's why we have commissioners and blah, blah, blah. But me personally, me as the commander-in-chief, the HNIC, the person that controls these 4 islands, I'm gonna make sure, win or lose, whether if I get reelected or I don't get elected, I'm gonna make sure at least try to fix the GRS situation, which again was the best retirement system in the world. You know what I'm saying? You have people now that in my age about to start, slowing down, getting ready to retire. You know what I'm saying? People who've been working since they graduated from high school, they're now in a range of retiring. And when they're retiring, it's going to be very difficult for them to get their fair share of money. So again, what's the problem? What's the really, I'm asking for your personal answer. What do you think is the problem why we cannot get this thing here fixed, man? This is scary. It is scary. It is.
It is. Well, I heard the same talk in reference to it being the best retirement system. And the thing is, for individuals who want to have not just to have a good job with a good income, but retirement benefits and a pension. Where we went wrong is where I honestly feel is playing politics. Okay? And I read something today where it was comparing a thief to a politician. Okay? Yeah. You know, the thief gonna walk in, he gonna rob your house, steal a purse, etc. You know, and then eventually he gonna get charged. You know, they're gonna be ready to lock him up and put him in jail. But when it comes to a politician, everybody is still tugging on the coattails because people want something from the politician. But that being said, all of the unfunded mandates never should have happened, and that's just straight up just over appropriated, playing politics on people.
You don't think that some of the bad dealings as far as like giving big substantial loans to companies or people who had vested interest in the GRS and they folded. They like, for example, the West Bay supermarket, that was a big investment. That was a recent big investment, and that folded within 2 years.
Yeah, and I would not have made that investment. And this is one of the reasons why. At one point, I was considering opening a restaurant. Yes, I can cook better than you. So, yeah, so I was thinking about opening a restaurant, but one of the key things we needed was statistical information relative to how many restaurants we have, the type of restaurants, etc. There is no statistical information. So when you look at a supermarket, based on where it's going to be located at, those things have to be placed into the equation. Also, whether or not it's truly going to be accessible, you know. But in the end, it didn't play out. But I want to give you an example about in California. One of the things the teachers union was facing when they retire. And imagine 1 million teachers retired, and the government is going to pay 100% of their insurance, premium when they retire. They're paying, the government paying everything. that's a burden. That creates a burden on government. So I mean, you have to have truly qualified people at the table doing the negotiations. Okay, making the right decision, so you don't give up too much, and there's a balance. But where we at right now with the retirement system, it's not in a good place, and we have to have that that lump sum, that large amount in pension bonds to be floated to solve it. Yeah.
This need to be addressed, man, because I had a conversation back in, it was a Miami Carnival. Matter of fact, it was wrong this time. Miami Carnival always used to be Columbus weekend. And me and a good brother was vacationing in Miami that weekend. And he did mention to me, he said, 2020, the JRS is going to go bankrupt. He told me this back in 2009. No, not 2009, 2008. 2008. Matter of fact, it was the year Obama came in office, either 2007 or 2008. He mentioned that, saying 2020, the GRS is going to go bankrupt. And sure enough, it haven't been bankrupt. It's not bankrupt, but it's in the verge. And it's sad. I mean, he saw something I didn't see back then. I guess he more in depth with the VI politics, the VI economics, and so forth. Very skillful, mindful brother. Not gonna call his name, but you know, I like, again, I always think about these conversations, and I'm like, wow, like, if people from the outside could see these things happening or escalating, why is it the powers of be, the people that were elected, you know what I'm saying, the people trusted and elected, why didn't they do something or try to curb or even try to fix? Not we don't want the director of JRS being subpoenaed to the legislature and y'all drilling them or you know, asking them questions they're saying they don't know. We don't want that. We want the problem fixed.
Yeah.
These people, I think one of the biggest problems in the Virgin Islands, we have too many grandfathers and grandmothers still holding position for 30, going on 40 years. They got to go. They got to go home.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you have your challenges too, because with a number of the boards and why the boards are also filled. You have folks who really don't want to come before the legislature for confirmation hearing, you know. So there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of challenges, you know, that compounds the issue.
It's crazy, Stedman. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, it's 902. Again, I didn't give my people on Facebook Live a shout out. Shout out to all my people on Facebook Live. I see y'all. I just got into the show. Let me just do a quick shout out, Stedman. Shout out to Steve Douglas, E.A. Edwards, Saja Smith, Huey Benjamin, Stacy Rose, Tracy D.W. Thank you for tuning in. Kelvin Williams, Sean Pui Scapliff, Antonio Smith, my classmate, Jana Prevost, Stan Phillip Jr., Brigo, big up yourself, K. Fontaine, my cousins, Shanda Gottlieb, all the way from the DMV, Keith Carlwood, and much more. Make sure y'all share the live. Thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all, man. We have the Honorable Virgin Islands Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr. He's running for re-election on November 3rd. The last topic for tonight is public safety. Public safety. Public safety. I know you was in the military. You're a military veteran. You're a disabled veteran, but still, you been engaged, been involved, and have a kind of idea about what it takes to take control of a situation. For example, you've been in what, Iraq?
Kuwait, Iraq, and also Afghanistan.
Right. So you've been in there where you're going into harm's way and trying to control things or regulate things. It don't make no sense to ask you a question. What is the problem in the Virgin Islands? We all know what the problem is. There's a lot of problems. But my question to you tonight, Stedman, is moving forward. Moving forward. We are a small community. In other words, 9 out of 10, if somebody get gunned down, 9 out of 10 is either a family member or somebody that you know. What I mean, somebody that you know that their son, I went to school with their father, his son. You understand what I'm saying? Or me and this young guy, mom went to school together, her son that get gunned down. You understand what I'm saying? We know we are very close-knit community. And I always say that in order to curb the violence, we have to get our mind right as a community. We have to get our mind right. I think it's a stem from a lot of things. People are angry. Why are they angry? We have a lot of people walking around here with lipstick, jewelry, fashion, and this and that, but mentally they're struggling. If you understand what I'm saying. People sugarcoat it, they cover it, they do a damn good way of covering the mental illness. Another thing is people are financially frustrated. People are going and, you know, they're looking at these videos, they're looking at other people and they're saying, well, why they have and I don't have? So I'm gonna go and kill somebody, take somebody life so I could get what they have. You know what I'm saying? We have to get our mind right to kind of curb this violence in the Hodge. Now, my question to you tonight is, moving forward, because I mean we're getting ready to the end, coming to the end of 2020, and by God, I can't wait till 2020 over because it's been a rough, like I said, it's been a gift and a cost. But moving forward, as if you get reelected to the 34th legislature, what are your platform? What are you planning to do to help curb this situation that we have here that is hurting our community, which is gun violence? What is Senator Stedmann Hodge is planning to do moving forward?
Yes, right now I have a bill that's in the Committee on Finance creating an excursion fee. And it's going to be a fight with the excursion operators. But what that fee is going to do is to restore certain historical sites. Port Authority will get some dollars as well. Create some underwater monuments. We're going to call it hopefully the Middle Passage monuments. And we'll have historical figures there as well. Trying to work against some sunken vessels and do a whole lot with that fund. But out of that fund, we have 14% of the money that's collected is going to the police department. And what we actually have written into the legislation is to have 2 surveillance centers, one in St. Croix, one in St. Thomas, and surveillance cameras territory-wide. And after those are put in place, the rest of the money is going to stay with the police department because they lack the resources. They don't have the capabilities to truly have a good, very strong police presence. They have a shortfall with retention, keeping officers on the force as well. And in today's hearing, I'm a member of the committee, and the one concern issue that most of the officers had, and they mentioned during their exit interview, is communication. So my response was, if you're not going to communicate to your officers when they come and do their change of shift, and they're going out there, and in the military, we make sure we backbrief one another. So that when we go out there, we already know what the threat is. We know what's happening. We know what might have taken place in our neighborhood, things of that nature. So it becomes a major safety issue, but in the end, I have the legislation to bring needed resources to the department that would assist in curbing crime. The department is really doing a whole lot right now to turn things around. They're going to be setting up some substations at the airports so that when weapons are coming through, they can be detected. So on their own, they're doing some good stuff. But I'm glad the one thing that's one of my agenda items is revenue generators. We need new revenues. You know, without new revenues or without creating industry, we really can't protect our people in the territory. That's the
But
bottom line.
what about federal funding? Don't they have some kind of like federal grants for stuff like these? When you say funding is a problem, we're talking about public safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We do have the Law Enforcement Planning Commission, and they actually receive a lot of the grants from the federal government, and they manage them. You know, but it's still, even what they're getting, it's covering a lot, but it's still not enough. You know, for what we need in the territory.
It's sad. It's sad. It breaks my heart that we have a lot of unsolved murders in the Virgin Islands. A lot of parents, you know, they always say that a parent should not have to bury their child, and we're seeing this as that's the norm. You know what I'm saying?
I have a good one for you. Have you seen any of the videos, the virtual videos where you're seeing instructors teaching these elementary school students, and they're lying down in the bed and even they sitting up or nothing, like just
or falling asleep? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so it goes to show you that, you know, we can do our part. Teachers are doing their part, law enforcement doing their part, but it starts in the household. And if it's school, you got to be dressed for school. You got to be up and ready to be ready, and that's a parent's responsibility. You know, we know the challenges. But I'll get some kudos to another good senator, the senator from upstreet, Senator Myron Jackson, who's going to be leaving the legislature. He's not running again. But he has legislation for the Office of Gun Violence, which really creates a great holistic approach involving not just law enforcement, but nonprofits to include churches, etc. You know, and it's really, it's good legislation that will fall under the Department of Human Services. And that's going to be able to address a lot of issues, be able to engage parents, you know, and try to really turn things around from a community level. Yeah.
You mentioned about revenue, like we lacking revenue. We need funding to help better public safety. One of the questions that we didn't touch tonight was the marijuana bill. What's up with the marijuana bill? I keep telling people that that could curb a lot of our financial issues in the Virgin Islands. I don't know why we're taking it a hard time, or people are afraid to even push the bill or even get it going, get it moving. I mean, marijuana is marijuana. Everybody's smoking it. I mean, let's keep it 100. Everybody's smoking it. It might not be you, Stedmann, but I know deep down, probably in your college days, or probably behind, say, a chess gym, or if you went Nazareth, you probably went in a shopping center someplace and took something. Everybody smoked marijuana, right? And growing up, people had marijuana as it's bad, it's negative, it's no good. You're smoking marijuana, you're a bad person. People are now smoking marijuana to curb their health, the sickness. You know what I'm saying? Marijuana sales, marijuana revenue in the United States, which was, I'm so appalled that certain states here in the United States have legalization of marijuana and their economy is skyrocket. We have the perfect place. We have the perfect climate. You name it. If we're crying about the JRS about to go bankrupt in such year, funding, public safety is lacking funding, education with the students them not having enough laptops. You name it. All kind of things that we could talk about. Marijuana, something that the whole world smoke. People will come from China to the Virgin Island just to smoke on an island on Cookie Point Beach or Megan's Bay Beach or wherever beach it is. People will come from Amsterdam all the way to the Virgin Island. It's not nothing bad. It is what it is. I remember Stedmann, and I'm going to kind of cut it short. I remember, no lie, when I first moved to Atlanta, it had on Piedmont Park. Is Piedmont Park? Piedmont Park? Oh, I can't remember. I think it was Piedmont Park. It was early 2000 when I first got here. I see with my own eyes. My brother, I used to work with my brother before I came on Georgia Power.
My classmate?
Yeah, Oriel.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
he drives past there and we stop. And the people them in the park were just smoking weed. They call it, I forget what they call it. Lad, I'm going to ask him. But the thing was, for a day, you could smoke in the park. But the minute you step out of that park, the police go arrest you. So just for one day, you could go in the park, you could smoke as much as you want. Some people would smoke. People had on suits. They went in there, they smoked,
Yeah.
and then they go with a briefcase back to work. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't touch them as long as they're in the park. I couldn't believe that. When I first came to Atlanta, I haven't seen it done it in years, but I was like, wow. And the police that was in the perimeter, just making sure that, hey, don't come out the park. We're not going to touch you. And majority of the people that was in that park were Caucasians.
Oh,
majority.
Listen, you ain't lying, you know.
Majority.
You ain't lying.
You know what I'm saying? I was actually looking to see a brother or sister. You were seeing them, but it was very, very, it was like a needle in a
when you got reggae consort and them kind of stuff, the Caucasians outnumber us at the consorts?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So with that being said, that if we want to start thinking outside the box and solve this financial problem that we have in the Virgin Islands, we need to address that marijuana situation. The church people them could say what they want. If I'm just going to keep it real, I will keep it real with this Stedmann. They could say what they want. The Jehovah's Witnesses could say what they want. And the old people them, like they say, the senior citizen them could be set in the way, they could say what they want. If you want things to get better in the Virgin Islands, come up with a bill. Make sure we stick to the bill, stick to the plan, and let's get this thing moving, man. I'm telling you, the Virgin Islands should not be running as we're second. We're supposed to be first. That's how I grew up looking at the Virgin Islands when it comes to our carnival and etc. We always used to be on top of things. Now it's like people don't really like, you know, they come to the Virgin Islands and then they gone. You know what I'm saying? Before, people used to come to the Virgin Islands and say, man, they're moving, they're staying. You know what I'm saying? You're hearing that now, but there's people who probably done lock out in the States and they run into the Virgin Islands, sleeping on people's floor just to get away from whatever criminal activity they have here in the States. But we're talking about people who move into the Virgin Islands, that love the islands, enjoy the weather, enjoy our what we have to offer, and they're staying. We don't see that no more. We don't see that no more. We need to bring that culture back. And if marijuana going to do that, so be it, Stedmann, y'all need to do something. That's how it is.
So, of course, we have the Cannabis Act, okay?
Right.
So, we have the Cannabis Act. Mark Wenner, the chief economist for the Virgin Islands, in his testimony, he used, I think it was 3 or 4 states, including Oregon, Utah, Colorado. And of all the visitors that come to those states, 10% of them use cannabis.
You see?
So we're expecting that 10% of all the visitors here are going to use cannabis. The first 2 years, they're expecting to make 26 million per year for the first 2 years. After that, it's going to be, it's projected or estimated at 13 million annually. And that's just for medicinal use, okay, from what they shared. So if we get into the edibles and the sales,
that's what I'm saying, the merchandise
and things like that, then we can hopefully have, so you need to come down to the Virgin Islands and get your little Airbnb, and you can have your retreat, you know?
In a case they wait.
Invest in the Virgin Islands, you know?
Invest in the Virgin Islands. I mean, some people might say it sounds untasty, but listen there, man. You know, we need to get with the program. I'm serious. With the Cannabis Act, the people, I hope people is not getting paid, you know, getting a salary and things are not moving. You get paid when this bill is amended, is become a law, and we will start making some money, man, because we have the places. The hotels, them, we could be building more hotels, building more, like you said, convention centers where they could come down to the convention center and host the little cannabis conventions and stuff. Come on, we need to get into times, man. Like I said, the COVID-19 pandemic, it was a gift and a cause. Like you say, it forced our hand to start doing things virtually and get things up to par. I think that it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be where something happened that it will cause an economic crash for us to to adjust. We shouldn't have to wait for that. We need to start thinking about now, man. But anyway, Stedmann Hodge is 919. I know you got a lot of work to do this weekend. So how the campaign coming, man? How is it coming? How is it looking?
The campaign is going well. I finished 5th in 2018. I finished 5th in the primary and 5th in the general. I finished 5th in this primary for this year, 2020. So most of it is anticipated that I may finish 5th again. But it's really close. Senator Atney Bobby Thomas is in the 2nd place spot. I'm in 5th, but I'm 24 votes behind of him.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was the same thing too last time we were in a pack. But it also speaks volumes that the people are confident that even for myself and Senator Thomas, Senator Gregory, who's way up to the top, Senator Marvin Blyden, the 4 of us are the incumbents, and we're doing well, so far. And the matter of fact, they just had a poll called VI Stack that was put out from a conjunction between the University of the Virgin Islands and a nonprofit organization. So they have me ranked 5th again, so yeah.
Awesome.
So far so good. I'm really, I'm glad I had the opportunity to come into the legislature. I think one of my biggest achievements is going after the gasoline excise taxes for the territory. This is going to be pretty much our 3rd attempt, and this should be our most successful attempt as well. I think the climate is definitely good for it once we do the proper lobbying. We have 28 individuals in Congress who were born in different countries. We have other states that are impacted by natural disasters. So we have a lot of talking pieces to get those monies. And I'm always giving kudos to the delegate of Congress because she submitted in 1977 at a court case when we went after the gasoline monies. And they said that the language was relative to the excise taxes was ambiguous. So she clarified it, okay? And the language is no longer unambiguous. So once it goes through the process and we have the support and the lobbyists doing their work on behalf of the VI territory, we'll be looking at 50 to 160 million annually coming from to the refinery, and yeah, so that's really heavyweight stuff, and I'm glad I was able to be a part of that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Stedmann, again, I want to thank you, man. The last 2 years ago, when you ran, you reached out to me, and that means a lot to me. And I told you that. I said, Stedmann, ain't too much people will reach out. I have to reach out to them. Hey, I have a show, blah, 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 blah. Would you like to come on the show? But you reached out, and I think that was genuine. And ever since then, our relationship been always genuine. And congratulations and all the best, man. I know you will do well on November 3rd, but however, we can't leave no stones unturned. Continue doing what you're doing, man. Again, your feet is wet now. Your socks is wet now. Your shoes are wet. Yeah. So no excuse moving forward now. So you got a taste, you got an idea, you got a feel of what's going on. Somebody was calling me. Yeah. But again, congratulations. I'm saying it in advance because I know you're going to do well. Anything you would like to address to the listeners before you leave?
I'm going to repeat what I said in the beginning. At least what my expectation of those individuals who are going to vote for me vote for me based on my record. Don't vote for me on a popular vote. Oh, I know Steady cool, man. He hang out with me all the time.
And he go cook.
And he go cook. You know, but it goes beyond that, because you want to know that I have legislation that's really truly trying to take this territory in the right direction. Check my attendance record, things of that nature. But outside of that, there's a whole lot that I would like to continue in the 34th legislature. I have a lot of very impactful measures. I have a total of 13 new revenue generators, when I'm just bringing them one at a time. And of course, legal counsel is when they get them prepared. But looking forward to do my work, you know, love it, I enjoy it, and always ready to engage anyone when I meet them on the street once they want to approach me and talk to me. Yeah.
Awesome, man, awesome. Well, good luck, best of luck.
Yeah.
Stedmann. Before you go, I'm gonna put you on the spot. On Sunday, are you gonna have are you going to be there, or are you gonna have a representative for the march, the Reclaim the Village march? I'm putting you out there right now, Stedmann.
No, I'm going to be there. I know the Ashby's very well. I'm actually donating water and some other stuff too, you know, for the cause. Yeah. Awesome. So I'm going to be there, and ain't got nothing to do with politics. You know, I think really a lot of folks are going to come out. But Jimenez, Boogie, we're fraternity brothers. You know, I know the young men. I knew their fathers. You know, so yeah. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
maybe close and personal for that.
I honestly think it's nothing political, but I think that if you're a senatorial candidate or any candidate for wherever, you should be out there. If you are into public office, or you running for a public office position, you should be out there on Sunday, March. It doesn't matter if you live in the West, if you live in the East. They are, you know what I'm saying, giving you options. You can walk from Crown Bay to Emancipation Garden, or to Park Mall to Emancipation Garden. You know what I'm saying? So again, Stedmann, all the best. Thank you, man. You're a cool brother. You know what I'm saying? Respect you a lot, and good luck on November 3rd.
Okay, thank you. On November 3rd, vote for Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr., number 3 on the general election ballot.
What was your the number the last time? The last time it was 20. It was 20. Right?
That was 20. Yeah, that was 20.
Yeah, it was 20.
That was 20.
So you got a good number now.
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Number 3. That's
all
right.
All right, Steady. We gonna talk.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.
No problem, my brother.
Okay, cool.
Right.
I'm Senator Stedmann Hodge Jr., Democratic candidate to the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. I am proud to have Resolution 1862 adopted. It petitions the Governor of the Virgin Islands and the Virgin Islands Delegate of Congress to join the 33rd Legislature in pursuit of the gasoline excise taxes owed to us, over $4.7 billion. Many thanks to the Delegate of Congress for submitting H.R. 4198 to amend the Internal Revenue Code regarding gasoline taxes in the Virgin Islands. Also, to the Governor, who has testified before Congress. Line 3-bay terminals will be online in a few months, and the Virgin Islands will position themselves to see between 50 million to 160 million annually. I'm Stedmann Hodge Jr., number 3 on the general election ballot, and I need your vote to continue to restore confidence, pride, and hope for all Virgin Islands.
Info by the committee to elect Stedmann Hodge Jr. to the Senate.
That was the Senator, the Honorable Stedmann Hodge Jr. on the JMO Talk Show tonight. Make sure you go out there and exercise, do your civic duty, go outside and go out there on November 3rd and vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but you know, you use your discretion. But I think Stedmann Hodge have a great chance of being re-elected. Anyway, coming up next week, we have another senatorial candidate. So look out for the JMO Talk Show flyer. It's going to be nice. This person here is running. He is not a incumbent, but he's asking y'all to be the first, be elected for the first time in the St. Thomas District, Virgin Islands. All right. So he's going to be my virtual guest next week, Friday. All right. So make sure y'all keep it locked. Tell a friend. All right. So don't forget, on Sunday, October 11, Reclaim Our Village March against violence. March Against Violence, sponsored by the Aaron Nichols Hamilton Ashby Foundation. They're going to have a march on Sunday starting at 7 a.m., starting at Crown Bay to Emancipation Garden and Tutu Park Mall to Emancipation Garden. Please come out, support the thing, no excuses. I've read some of the stuff that, oh, we marching again. Yes, if you have to march till your legs them or your feet them out, so be it. You had Martin Luther King, you had John Lewis, Jesse Jackson, Coretta Scott King. They're marching from Selma to Mobile and Mobile to Birmingham. You know what I'm saying? These are, you know, long walks. They didn't care. They did what they had to do to prove a point. So we just walking from Crown Bay to Emancipation Garden or Tutu Park Mall to Emancipation Garden, where you could walk it in probably an hour or two. These people have been walking for hours. But anyway, again, we had a great show tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. We do a quick rundown before I go. Keith Calwood, thank you for tuning in. Yolanda Aguayo, Yoli could cook. Thank you for tuning in. Who else we got? Shanda Gottlieb. We have Saja Smith. We have Stacy Rose, JMO Entertainment. We have Shakima George. We have Lornette Williams-Gee. We have E.A. Edwards, Rodney Benjamin, Pui, big up yourself. We have Tracy D.W. Thank you for tuning in. Kelvin Williams. Thank you for tuning in. Sean Scotliff, Antonio Smith, classmate Jenna Prevost, Idita Selkridge, Stan Phillip, Brigo, big up yourself. Kay Fontaine, Kay Renetta, thank you for tuning in. Olympia Mitchell, Tina, Bettina, Daniel. Who else we got? Oh, big up to Captain Ren. Don't forget to make sure you join Captain Ren each and every Saturday night. Soca Saturdays, man. So make sure you listen to Yearman Radio CEO, Captain Ren, and friends each and every Saturday night, Soca Saturdays, all right? Cool. Miss Claudina, thank you for tuning in. I know you was going to be there. Thank you for tuning in, Miss Claudina. All right, that's the show for tonight. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the JMO Talk Show YouTube channel, please go on there and do so, please. I'm asking you all to just subscribe. It's just my opinion talk show. Look for it should have a picture of myself on the page. That's my page. Subscribe, and you could see all my shows starting from July 2020 up to now. I should be downloading the Malgato Chalice video this weekend, and then of course this show here with the Honorable Stedmann Hodge should be here hopefully this weekend or next week. All right. But again, for all the people that subscribe, thank you. Appreciate y'all. Tell a friend. And also the people that tune in tonight, each and every Friday night. Thank y'all for supporting. Really, truly appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. All right. Cool. I'll talk to y'all next week. Again, we have another senatorial candidate next week. He goes by the name of Putna. He's going to be on the show next Friday. All right. So make sure y'all tell a friend. We here. And we ain't going nowhere. The JMO Talk Show with yours truly, Russ Sills, signing out. Peace and hair grease. One love.